a great first impression. There's been really good creativity in the room so far. And I think we had some really interesting examples of what people are creating in terms of gamification for their different processes that they've chosen. So I think I expect a lot this afternoon. But I think it's a really positive group, really interested. And it's great to hear that people in Poland are open to doing a bit of game. Yes, it's for everybody. I would always say that young people expected more today to have gamified solutions because they're used to it from social media, from the games they play, from all the apps they have on their smartphones, on their watches, on everything they wear. Whereas the older generations, which I get asked the most, is it for them? They also say it's for them. And when it comes to it, when we roll out programs, they're the ones we have to say, you know what, you need to go back to work. So it does work for everybody, but you may have to have a different type of gameplay depending on the organization you're in and the style of communication that people are used to. So the game may be different, but yes, it's applicable to all ages. So, so the people that will play naturally and who probably have the most chances of being gamified already is actually salespeople. Salespeople by very nature are competitive and have often had commission structures, incentives, rewards that they had to work towards. So they're naturally interested into games. But then what I see is where you can make the biggest difference is what people that don't normally get access to the fun stuff, whose jobs may be a little bit more boring, who have to do repetitive things. You can set rewards and you can make that more interesting. So I think there's games for everybody, but you need to suit the individuals you're dealing with. So I often give an example. If you're dealing with scientists or engineers, they want big, tough, juicy problems. If you're dealing with sales, they want target gamification where they can see the end goal. If you have a lot of customer service people, it's probably more social, more caring. So the gameplay will vary, but there's a game for everyone. Sometimes, yes. And the way to convince them, in my view, is to also show them the numbers. So more and more statistics are coming out that gamification actually works. From our experience and with our clients, we see on average 20 to 50% improvement. It depends on what was there before. So if there was already really good working culture and really good communication, then we only achieve 20% improvement with adding gamification into a business process. If there was nothing and the situation was poor, then it's easy enough to get closer to 50% improvement in the business process. So where gamification work is always a process. It needs to have more than one step. That's where you can apply it to, and then look for numbers. For all of the projects that we do, we look for the before numbers and then we look for the after numbers, so we can see that is it working, and if it's not, we can change it and tweak it. But yes, senior management often says is my company gonna turn into a game and everybody's playing? Well, no. It's gonna look like LinkedIn with a few things on it. So yeah, sometimes the idea, people have this idea of, oh, it's gonna look like World of Warcraft or Overwatch or Fortnite, or no. It's not. It's very likely gonna look like your normal business application with a few extras. I think it's possible to improve co-working. So you could have competitions of companies, which stage are you at, and maybe have a physical graph somewhere on the wall that shows, you know, I'm a startup and the startup is here. I'm 6 years in business and I'm here. So if people are willing to share where they are in terms of journey, in terms of, let's say, how long are you in business, that's one thing. You could do it around turnover if people are willing to share that, which is usually a bit more touchy, or number of clients. So you know, we have one new client this week. You could have a mini celebration if you have a new client and it's a big deal, or big news. The big news should be celebrated. I think co-working spaces are made by the people you get to meet. And the getting to meet, you need a reason for it, typically speaking. So celebrations are good, networking parties are good, speed networking, like speed dating, but for companies, that can work, which is great fun. So those are the kinds of things I would love to see co-working spaces take up. And they're easy to do. Again, you don't need big budgets. And you know, I gave an example in the group here about the leaderboard with love hearts. You could have, you know, the love of this week goes to business Y, and then people give a reason why it should go there, which gives them a bit of a standout, a shout out. So yeah, there's loads of things you could do in a workspace. Oh, it's a beautiful place. So thank you for inviting me. It's my first time in Poland, so really excited to do some exploring of the old town. At the moment I've only had a little bit of a view, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I love the co-working setup here. I think it's a really exciting space and it looks really creative, which is great because a lot of business centers are not so much personality. What I like the most is the people, though. The people I've met so far have been fantastic, and that's what makes a good program.